Hello and welcome to Uptech America's Oracle EBS Financials Functional Training. My name is Bob and I'm the lead senior consultant for Uptech America, and with me I have Victor, who is also a senior consultant. And today we are handling General Ledger Lesson 28, and Victor, please walk us through.
Thank you, Bob, for the introduction. Welcome to Lesson 28 of our Oracle Financials Functional Training Series. We're going to continue with the topic of the data access set and the balancing and management segments and how they are used to grant or deny access to data through the data access set screen. So we already talked about the management segment and how it can be used to do this. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to the system and implement it in our general ledger module. Remember, we did not declare we did not declare management segment when we were creating our chart of accounts. As a result, we will need to declare our segment using this route, not through the flex field qualifiers. So we have to run these two programs. And that is what we are going to do. Just a couple of things. This first program here, it cannot be run when people are entering journals. Okay, so in a real life implementation, you should not run this program when people are entering journals, as it may cause some data corruption or errors. But that is not the same for the second program. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that there are a couple of tasks that we need full access to ledgers to carry out. Okay, so we have seen the balancing segment and the management segment can be used to restrict users from entering or accessing data through inquiries or reports. However, in order to carry out these functions listed here, you have to have full access to the ledger. Okay, so to create budget versions, to create summary accounts, to manage period and mass allocation, you need full access. So you cannot have a restricted access to do this. So you have to have at least one user who has a responsibility that allows that has full access to your ledger, so that they can be able to carry out these tasks. So this is a scenario that we want to implement in our own system. However, I'm also going to use the balancing segment. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to create one data access set using balancing segment, and then we are going to use management segment to create the other one. So we're going to create two additional ones. One will be with the balancing segment and the other one with management segment. For the one with balancing segment, we are going to give read and write access to company 1, and then we are going to give read access only to company 2. And then for the management segment data access set, we are going to implement it as it is here for the mid-level. Okay. So with those two examples, we are going to be able to understand the whole concept of how we can be able to restrict access to users. This is a diagrammatic representation of what we are trying to do. So this is in our case, we create data access sets and then we assign them to a responsibility, which you're also going to have to create a new responsibility, so 2 new ones, and then we are going to assign it to our user. So in a real life implementation, perhaps a more realistic case would be a data access set, a responsibility, and then a user. Okay, and then now these 3 different users would have different levels of access depending on what you do in the system. Okay, so let's head on over to Oracle. Right here. Make sure I'm logged in correctly. I'm just going to log out and log in again. And let me close this. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do is declare our management segment. So the navigation is reports, request, then standard. It's going to do a single request. So before we do this, let's sorry for that. Let's go to our chart of accounts, financials, flex fields, segments. Our chart of accounts should be Mascani. That's it. So let's go to segments. These are our segments. Let's look at, so when you select flex field qualifier and the selector is under the company segment, you can see this is declared as the balancing segment. Our account segment is the natural account segment right there. Let's see what is under division. Nothing. Okay, so this is so this division segment is the one that we want to select as the management segment. All right. So if you were creating a chart of accounts now, you would have just first unfreeze our flex fields, then come and select. But if we do it right now through this flex field qualifier screen, it might cause data corruption. So we're not going to do that. So let's go back and run the request. So I'm going to use wildcards management. So the one we want to run first is this program, prepare general batches for management segment upgrade. When you select that, these are the parameters that come up. So what is the chart of accounts that we want is Mascani. And what is the management segment that we want? As you can see, even from this list, there is no balancing segment and there is no company and account under this list, because you can't use the balancing segment and the natural account segment as a management segment. So these are the other options that you are left with. If one of these was an intercompany, then it wouldn't be here either. So we want to use the division. Okay, and select OK. Then you can select submit. Okay, so no. Now, so remember we said you should not run this program when journals are being entered, or users are entering journals or other transactions, because it might cause data corruption. When you run this program, another program is launched, okay? And this program is called Process Posted Journal Batches for Management. So, see whether this has completed. Give it some time. Now, you see the program that we were running here has completed, okay? And then automatically, this other one is launched. And this is the name of that program, and it's called Process Posted Journal Batches for Management Segment Upgrade. So this works on the journals that are already posted. So for this one, users can enter journals or work in the as this is running in the background. However, you cannot run purge programs or archiving when this is running. That will cause a conflict. Okay, but as far as entering journals is concerned, users can do this when the program is running in the background. So this is still running. Let's just wait for it to finish. Hopefully it won't take too long. After this is finished, then we are going to run the other program that is, let me see, our slides. We're going to run this second program, Complete Management Segment. So after this one that is running now is finished. And that's done. So let's close this, or let's go to submit a new request, single request. Let's just use wildcards again. So now we want to do this for complete management segment upgrade. What is the chart of accounts? Maskani. That's the only parameter you need to select. Okay. No. Right. So this program is now running, the one that we just did a request for. So we can close this window. Let's navigate to our segment screen, chart of accounts screen. I'm going to add this to the top 10 list. Let's see whether first it has finished. Hopefully it has finished. So it's finished, and you can see another one to compile key flex fields has also launched and completed. Let's see whether there are any changes. The flex field qualifiers. So now you can see that the management segment is the division segment. Okay, so when you scroll down to division and select flex field qualifiers, you can see the management segment has been ticked. So now we can use this management division segment to control, to grant or deny access to certain values in that particular value set under that segment. So now that we have seen that, let's go and create our data access sets. So we're going to go to Setup, Financials, then Data Access Sets. So the first one, we said we are going to use the balancing segment. So we are going to give read and write access to company 1 on our primary ledger, and then we are going to give read only access to company 2. Okay, so we can call this data access set Maskani group 001 and 002. Read and write to 0. Read only to 002. The chart of accounts is Maskani. The calendar, I believe, is also Maskani. Access set type. So if you do full ledger, then you have access to all the values in all the value sets. Okay. But now we want to do balancing segments. And here you can enter default ledger if you're going to put more than one ledger in your ledger set. Okay. Then you can put the default ledger, and this will be the ledger that will be automatically showing when you go to inquiry pages or journal entry pages. However, you can select any other ledger if there's more than one in your ledger set using the drop down list. Okay, so it's not also compulsory. As you can see, the field is white. So for the ledger or ledger set, we want to use our Maskani group US ledger. This is our reporting. These are our reporting currency ledgers. We're not going to use them for now. So let's use our primary ledger. Okay. So for this first line, this is under the access details. Okay. So we want to give this data access set access to what? Read and write access to company 01 in the balancing segment, right? So unselect this, and now you have to enter a specific. Let's see what values are under here. Okay, so it's just company. Why? Because that is the balancing segment, and it's already indicated in our chart of accounts. Okay, so Maskani developers, company 1. Okay. All right. What privilege do you want to give? Read and write. Let's go to the second line. We are going to do same ledger, the primary ledger. Okay. Unselect this, and then now here select what? Company 002. Okay, but now for 002 we want to give this what? Just read and write. Just read only. Okay, so that's it. So we can save our work. Please enter value for the bank account segment in the access flex field. Okay, let me try that again. Please enter the required value for the bank account segments. But why is this flex field not popping up? Let me see if I enter this here, it will correct. Okay, so that's the default ledger. This is a flex field, a descriptive flex field, so I'll just enter anything. Don't matter for now, I have to enter something. And let's see whether it will allow me to save. So that has been saved. Okay, so that is our first data access set. So let's create our second data access set, and then now we are going to attach each to a responsibility. All right, so just come up here and select new. So the second one, let me see, the second one we are creating this, okay, using the management segment. So we want read and write access to division 100 and 101, and then read only to 102 and 103. So we can call this Maskani group divisions. Read, write 100, 101, read only for 102 and 103. Chart of accounts is Maskani. The calendar is Maskani. Access set type, management. Okay. Default ledger, Maskani Group US. Currently we have to enter this. Okay. So what is the ledger that we are working with here? Still our primary ledger. So let's unselect that, and when we come here, you can see the default, automatically it brings you division because you selected management segment there. Okay, so division 100. Okay, you want read and write. Again, Maskani Group US ledger, primary ledger. Division 101. We also want read and write. Again, Maskani Group US ledger, and select that. Division 102. However, in 102 we want read only. Finally, same ledger. Okay, and this we want 103. 3, read only. Okay, so that's our second data access set, and we can save this. If we go back to our slides, so what have we done? We have created the data access set. Okay, a data access set is the profile option which gives access to a ledger. All right. So in order to access a ledger, we need a responsibility to which we assign the data access set. And so then the responsibility to the user, so we can view the ledger. So what we need to do is create 2 new responsibility and assign the data access sets that we have created to each one. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. First, see whether, so this is still going on. Let's go and create a new responsibility in the meantime. So to create a new responsibility, we need to switch to system administrator. All right. Then we go right. So we go to oh, what did I do? Profile. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. So we need to go to so let's go to security. Then we want to define new responsibilities. Then define. Okay. So we should be familiar with this page. Let's first query our responsibility, the one that we are using, which is mascan, should be caps. So we want to create another responsibility that looks like this. So this is going to be our data group, this is going to be a request group, and this is going to be our menu group. So that's just what I wanted to look at. So standard GL concurrent program group and GL underscore super user. So just come up here, select new. So for our first responsibility, the one we are going to assign the data access set where we have read and write access to company 1 and read only to company 2. You can call it Mascani group 001 and 002. Application is general ledger. This should be general ledger. All right. And then let's enter that. So here should be a standard. This is general ledger This should be GL underscore super user, this first one, and this should be GL concurrent. Remember, the request group is not mandatory, that's why this field is white, okay, but that's so that is our first responsibility, and we can save it. Okay, now let's create the second one, which we'll call Mascani group divisions. General ledger, this should be GL underscore super. The data group should be standard. The application should be general ledger. Request group should be GL. Okay, so that's our second responsibility, and we can save that. Okay, let's close that. So we have two of each of this level. We have still yet to link them. Okay, but now before we, let's go and assign these two responsibilities to our user, and then we are going to assign the data access set to the responsibilities. Okay, so it's still in system administrator security, and then user define. So let's query our existing user. Mine should be Bob. Bob Miti. Okay, so in order to assign a responsibility to this user, I come down here and then I add it, right? So what do I want to add? Mascani group 001 and 002. Okay, I also want Mascani group divisions. Okay, so now this, if I save this, these are going to be linked to my user, and I'm going to see them when I log in, these responsibilities, right? And I can close that. So we have linked our responsibilities to the user. What is the next thing we need to do? We need to link our responsibility to the data access set. So now we can be able to view the ledger through those responsibilities. Okay. To do that, we know we go to profile, then system. Okay. At the responsibility level, enter Mascani. Your options will come up. Let's start with 001, 002. Okay. Profile option should be data access set. So using wildcards, data, then access, wildcards, tab, find. So GL data access set, okay? So you want to assign the access set to this responsibility. So this is where you put that in. The name of our data access set is also Mascani 001 and 002. So let's see if we can find it. There it is, right? Let's assign that. and save. Okay, let's close this. Let's do that again, the different responsibility, which should be divisions, same profile option, use wildcards, data access, find the responsibility level. Let's look for Mascani divisions. Find divisions. Okay, save this. So this is now complete. We have a user, we have created two new responsibilities, and both of them have data access sets, right? Which in other words means they have access to those ledgers, and we should be able to see or to query or to enter data according to the privileges that we assigned when we are creating this data access set. So let's verify that. All right, switch responsibility. And as you can see now, those responsibilities are already here. Okay, actually, let me cancel this. Let me close. Let's go back to the home page. Log out. So Bob Mitty. Here are the new responsibilities. You can see the Mascani group 001 and 002. So if we go to the enter journals, select new journal, and we can see data access set test. So what do we expect? We have used the Mascani group 001 and 002 responsibility, which gives us read and write to to company 1 and read only to company 2. So we can enter journals because we have write access for company 1, but we cannot enter journals for company 2. Okay, so let's see whether that works. So company 1, account, doesn't really matter because we just want to do a test. Division, so that's fine. All right, let's try and do this for company 2, see what happens. Okay, division 100. That's a default, everything else. You do not have access to this account, so we cannot enter journals where the balancing segment is 002. Okay, we have to change this. Right. However, so let me just close this. We go to journals, enter, find. Well, I doubt actually that we have journals, mini journals for company 2. but we can be able to see all the journals that come from company 2. And how can we test it? Remember, this is still our primary ledger. Okay, it's just access that is different, read and write access based on our data access set. So let me close this, and if I switch responsibility and go to Mascani group super user, which is the one we've been using, I can enter a journal. Okay, for company 2. So 002 1000 100 00.123.123.123. Credit cash 002 5000. Let's use an expense 100. Let's debit that amount. Okay. We don't even have to post this, right? We can just save this and close. We did that for August. So let's go back to our division 001 002 responsibility. Okay, journals, enter, find. So we did that for August, right? So that's fine. And you can see the journal right here, unposted data access set test, and we can review the journal. Yeah, we can see everything because we have read access to 002. We just can't enter anything there. All right. So if we switch responsibility and go to this second responsibility for divisions, let's go to journals, enter. Let's try and enter a new journal, data access set divisions. So for this responsibility, we have read and write for company 100 and division 100 and division 101, and then we have read only for 102 and 103. So let's test whether the 102 and 103 will work. So company 001, account 1000, division 102, for which you should have only read-only access. So if our data access set work, we should be able to enter this journal. And you can see you do not have access to this account. Okay, but if we change this to 100, for which you have read and write, we do not get that error. So we can enter journals for this. Okay. Now we will be able to see all journals regardless of what division is affected, because we have read and write and read only for all the divisions. Okay. Now, the error message that we get here is system generated, but in the next topic that we are going to look at, which is security rules, we'll see that we define our own error message, our own custom error message. So you can go ahead and play around with your data access set. You can create a data access set with more than one ledger. You can use your reporting currency ledgers and see the different ways you can design access to those ledgers using the data access set and the responsibilities. But that is how we can use the management segment and the balancing segment through the data access set to deny or grant access to various values and consequently account combinations. So Bob, unless you have something to add, we can end our lesson there.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you.